Welcome back to What I Saw This Month, kicking off, finally, the 2021 movie list I have. I'm going to be uploading a lot of these movies back to back just so I can finally catch up on everything. So, let's get started with part 1. Shadow in the Cloud is an action horror movie starring Chloe Grace Moretz as Maude Garrett, a World War II pilot that catches a flight where she's carrying top secret documents. Things take a sinister turn when some unwanted stowaways make their presence known. Directed by Roseanne Liang, who co-wrote the film with Max Landis. In hindsight, that makes more sense. Shadow in the Cloud has a pretty solid first act. The characters' intention are built up pretty nicely, and truths are revealed about certain characters at a good pace. The comedy isn't extremely eye-rolling or anything, but it's when shit hits the fan where the movie becomes maybe too silly? It takes a lot of pulpy, over-the-top action sequences and setups that are kinda hard to gauge because the movie doesn't seem to be that tone until it is. It feels like a certain Twilight Zone episode got modernized, but it takes place before the 60s. It also tries to be this very female empowerment piece, which I'm not against, but again, you really can't take it seriously because of how ridiculous it is. She fist fights a creature into submission even though the entire movie has shown that it would be an awful idea. These things can just rip and eat through metal, but don't worry, she can do it now that she's been worn the fuck down. With that said, I still like a lot of the direction when it comes to the main character picturing events she can't see, the claustrophobia of the first 30 minutes, and not an overall bad concept, just not a great execution. Can't say I recommend this. Don't Tell a Soul is a psychological thriller starring Jack Dylan Grazer and Fionn Whitehead as brothers Joey and Matt. After robbing a neighbor's house one day, the boys accidentally lead a man into a forgotten well in the middle of the woods. Now, Joey's being pressured with keeping the secret enforced by his abusive older brother and wanting to help the man, played by Rainn Wilson, and making sure the mother is taken care of. Written and directed by Alex McCauley. I will say off the bat, I think I like this one. With a simple premise and plenty of twists and turns to keep you intrigued. It did its job as a thriller, hands down. The predicament Joey is in is also kinda sympathetic. The right choice seems obvious, but something keeps him from going through with it. In a young kid's mind, it kinda makes sense. The reveal of an identity also changes the dynamic completely. You might be able to guess it, but it still makes for a good plot thread. One complaint that kinda bogs the movie down is that its character's redemption. Certain people, mainly the older brother, do some pretty fucked up things. However, the way the movie ends, it almost tries to paint the picture that things will change for the better. But honestly, I gave up on him so far ago into the movie, it feels like they're trying to cheapen what you've set up. It also never goes into the consequences that will come from the climax, which, even though it's a short movie, felt like it was always planned to be hand-waved no matter what. I still say if you got 80 minutes, why not check it out?
Don't tell a soul what you saw here today.
Barb Star Go to Vista Del Mar is a comedy starring two lifelong friends taking a getaway vacation. At the same time, an evil villain is setting their sights on revenge, starring Annie Momolo and Kristen Wiig as Barb and Star, who also wrote the film, which was directed by Josh Greenbaum. This movie is so goddamn silly, I love it. The first 5 minutes set up how strange and surreal the comedy is going to be, and it will keep upping its goofiness for the rest of the runtime. Everything to the dialogue, the character interaction, the circumstances, everything is the weird version you want it to be. It's constantly making you giggle from the absurdity of it all, while also entertaining you with genuine good writing. Jamie Dornan is probably the highlight. His musical number alone will sell you on the movie. Yes, he has a musical number. This movie isn't a musical, by the way. There are 2 song numbers, and that's it. They just kinda happen, and the movie carries on. Did it have to be like that? No, but that's what makes the movie so enjoyable. Check it out if you haven't already.
6'11"? Oh my, Barb. Oh my gosh, he's 6'11". 6'11"? We're in 124.
Until that Five Nights at Freddy's movie comes out, Willy's Wonderland will kinda have to do for now. Another odd feature about Nicolas Cage cleaning up a rundown kids entertainment center, when it seems that the animatronics might be more aware than you'd hope. Directed by Kevin Lewis and written by Geo Parsons. I don't hate this movie. I think its biggest issue is the fact that it's really cheap and lazy looking. $5 million isn't action-adventure level, but with your limited space, you could have gone a little bigger. I think most of the budget went to paying Nick Cage because he feels like the biggest gimmick of the movie, not the killer animatronics, just him. There's plenty of things that could be funny. but there's just no payoff. You basically watch Nick Cage not talk the entire movie, kill some robots pretty easily for the most part, watch horror movie cliche characters run around in the background. If that's your thing, go on ahead, but like I said, it's a movie that could easily have been way better if a little more creative effort was put into it. Most of the creativity was put in the weird color choices, nauseating camera movements, and framing, and obnoxious editing techniques. I might have been in a good enough mood to accept what I saw, but it's a hard recommendation if you're hesitant in the slightest.
It's birthday time!
Flora and Ulysses is a superhero comedy, starring Matilda Lawler as Flora, a young girl whose fascination with superheroes leads her into befriending a squirrel she names Ulysses. Is one of his powers fixing broken marriages? Only one way to find out. Directed by Lena Khan and written by Brad Copeland. To describe this movie in one word, cute. It's very heartwarming, adorable, goofy family flick. You have a lot of tropes that follow these kind of movies, but it's like getting upset at a horror movie if it's violent. It may not need to have those elements in there, but it kind of comes with the territory. And as long as it's done decent or entertainingly, it's fine. The energy you get from the characters and bounciness of the story, it's enough fun for everyone to have. I obviously have some issues here and there. I think the movie's constant problem is the lack of having any realistic consequences for anybody's action that's supposed to be a good guy. If you're on the protagonist side, you could murder in front of a cop and you'd probably get away with it. Things just have to work out in the end, but the climax has to be amped up. So the things that happen just kinda don't matter since it all works out. You can do that in a kid's movie maybe once, if it's a big reaction your script just ignores. But I mean, even a simple thing like a car loses a door at one point during a chase. Then the next day, you see the car parked outside in the background and it's still missing a door. And it's not covered up in any way. I guess it's a lucky thing they live in a good neighborhood, otherwise that car would be cleaned out or just gone. No one even acknowledges that really being a possibility. They just say, man, it sure is expensive to get a new door. Is it something that ruins the movie? Not for me personally, but I was kind of irritated after a certain point, but I still say gather the family up and put this on for the movie night. You'll probably get something out of it.
Ulysses.
Alright, that's my first set of 2021 movies. Halfway through the year, but we're getting it done. Catch you guys very soon with part 2 with 5 more movies. Alright, see ya.